A bylaw officer at Dalhousie Station calls for help with an aggressive man.
Our members acted swiftly to protect the public in this very dangerous situation.
Calgary police shoot and injure a person armed with a knife. Plus, no national and international level skate events in Alberta. Skate Canada says it won't host here, blaming one of the province's new transgender laws. And an iconic chalet will reopen its doors.
Twin Falls is a beautiful little spot.
No longer a tea house, but this remote lodge will offer some very basic accommodation.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight at a busy Northwest LRT station where an investigation is underway after police shot a man this morning. It happened at Dalhousie Station just before noon and it has just reopened in the last half hour. Terry Fikowski is live at that scene tonight. So Terry, what can you tell us?
Tara, police tell us that the man was shot on the pedestrian path behind me, just steps away from the doors and entrance to the LRT station this morning. They say that he had a knife and at the time he was acting aggressively towards a peace officer. Now, earlier in the day, this pathway was blocked off and you could see bloody clothing and items along it while the investigation was underway. Police were called here around 11:30 this morning by bylaw officers over the man who they said had a knife, was acting erratically and aggressively to a peace officer in the station parking lot. When police arrived, an altercation occurred and police shot the man. He was taken to hospital in serious condition, and we learned that tonight that he is now considered stable. Now, no officers or other bystanders were hurt. The Alberta Serious Incident Response Team was brought in, which investigates officer-involved shootings. The police chief today defending her officer's action, saying they acted swiftly to protect the public with several people around at the time of the shooting.
The fact this incident occurred during daylight hours and in a busy area makes it all the more difficult for the public to process. However, I want to assure you that having safe public spaces in our city, including our transit infrastructure, is one of our top priorities.
Honestly, it is pretty shocking, especially for this station, because this station I've had no issues ever. I've always felt this is probably the safest station I feel safe at.
The chief adds that supports are available to anyone who may have witnessed the shooting or any of the violence today through their victim assistance support program. Tara, as you mentioned, the LRT station opened not long ago, but it was blocked off for over 6 hours during this investigation, with people having to take shuttle buses to other stations. And there was also some lanes on Crowchild Trail below the pedestrian path closed for some time, but those have also reopened. Back to you.
Terry Fikowski reporting. Terry, thank you. Skate Canada says it will no longer host some events in Alberta due to the province's new law, which restricts transgender athletes from participating in female-only sports. Alicia Fieldberg joins us now. So, Alicia, what kinds of events is this going to impact?
Tara, Skate Canada says it will no longer host national and international level events in Alberta. Now, Calgary has hosted 2 of these events recently, including the 2025-26 Skate Canada Challenge at the end of November and the 2024 National Championships. Now, Skate Canada says its decision not to have events like these in the province anymore was made after reviewing Alberta's Fairness and Safety in Sport Act, which came into effect September 1st. The law prevents transgender athletes from Alberta who are 12 and older from competing in female amateur sports. Now, in a statement, the organization said, following a careful assessment of Alberta's Fairness and Safety in Sport Act, Skate Canada has determined that we are unable to host events in the province while maintaining our national standards and for safe and inclusive sport. Now, the Premier reacted with her own statement saying, we expect they will apologize and adjust their policies once they realize they're not only compromising the fairness and safety of their athletes, but are also offside with the international community, including the International Olympic Committee, which is moving in the same direction as Alberta. Other Alberta politicians are weighing in too.
Well, I think they should have been paying better attention, both the Premier and her ministers, to the concerns that were raised by many organizations like Skate Canada. This is not new.
I think really this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of the reaction we're going to see from Canada and around the world, given the anti-trans discriminatory policies the UCP government has passed.
Skate Canada says it will monitor legislative developments and will reassess hosting opportunities as circumstances evolve. While Alberta will not be considered when Skate Canada books these events, Alberta athletes are still welcome to participate in Skate Canada programming and competitions. Tara?
Okay, Alicia, thank you. The province will shut down the Sheldon Schumer supervised consumption site sometime next year as it transitions to provide more treatment and recovery services. While some support the move, others say it will harm the city's most vulnerable. The city says it just wants to be looped in on the actual details. Tyson Fedor reports.
It's been a contentious issue for residents and businesses in the Beltline since it first opened in 2017. The supervised drug injection site at Sheldon Schumer will close next year, according to the province.
Providing drugs to people or watching people do drugs is solving anything.
If we were dealing with it across the city in a more systematic approach, we'd actually get a better result.
The Alberta government promised to close the site 4 years ago, but the final decision has been tossed between the city and province for years. The mayor says he has not been briefed on any plan for its closure.
We need to make sure that there's a transition process and that we're simply not just moving the social disorder and drug use from inside the Sheldon Schumer to outside.
Harm reduction advocates are slamming the move. Jennifer Jackson says her research has shown 700 people avoid the emergency department annually because of this service.
There are sometimes veterinary drugs in the drug supply. This is really toxic and dangerous medication. It also changes the chemistry in your brain, and because of that, you are not able to just stop using cold turkey.
But others who have dealt with addiction and witnessed firsthand the impacts it can have support the move, focusing on recovery efforts instead.
It isn't a destination. It is a journey, and it takes a lot of work. Children lose their parents. Now parents are losing their kids. It's time to put an end to this. I'm not against harm reduction, but a safe overdose site isn't the way to go.
As for local residents, they appear split on the site's future.
When you see people destroying their lives on a daily basis, and whether it's the city or the provincial issue, all it was doing was enabling the addiction.
Makes me really, really sad, especially in an area that is so dense with people that need that help.
A final date for the closure of the consumption site is not known.
And Tyson joins us from near the Sheldon Schumer tonight. So Tyson, what is the province saying?
Well, Tara, officials with the Ministry of Mental Health and Addiction saying that those that are in need of treatment deserve to enter treatment, but they also say that anyone who lives, works, or plays in this area deserves to do so without any disturbance from social disorder. Now, the province does say that services offered at sites across the province in other jurisdictions include dynamic overdose response teams that meet people in need within the community. Now, the province does say that it will provide treatment on demand, but would not provide any details. Now, the site here at the Sheldon Schumer Centre, that's future is going to be known sometime in the new year. Tara?
Okay, Tyson, thank you. 3 Calgary outreach groups are urgently searching for a new home after being told to vacate a city-owned building by December 31st. The city announced earlier this summer that the former Calgary Police Administration building along the C-train line on 7th Avenue needs to be emptied, citing aging infrastructure and maintenance costs. It's a building that's home to Be the Change YYC, the Aboriginal Friendship Centre, and the Safe Communities Opportunity and Resource Centre. Each group provides food, clothing, hygiene supplies, and housing referrals for those in need. Be the Change says it spent months trying to find a new location, but it continues to strike out.
A lot of the work that we do prevents crime, crimes of poverty, us not being able to operate or our operations being changed. This directly will affect community members downtown.
We don't have a solution yet, but my office is working, getting in touch with administration to make sure that we're trying to prioritize this work.
Be the Change has contingency plans in place to continue providing outreach level support, but it is also reaching out to private landowners who might have vacant space in the downtown core to find a solution. The Alberta government will test drive a plan to increase highway speed limits. An online survey found 68% of respondents supported increasing highway speed limits from 110 kilometers an hour to 120. The province says it will launch a controlled trial of the faster speed on some rural divided highways next year.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Avalanche control is underway southwest of Canmore, and it's visible from the town site. This video was posted to the Bow Valley Insider Instagram page, shot from downtown Canmore. Alberta 511 confirms Highway 742, that's the Three Sisters Parkway between Grassy Lakes and the Goat Creek day use area, is closed due to hazardous road conditions. Avalanche control work is underway today on Mount Rundle. When it will be reopened is unknown, as additional road maintenance will then be required after the avalanche control activities. Well, Danielle is checking in on our Tory Mountain fundraiser. We'll get an update on that in just a moment. But first, we have a pretty nice night ahead.
We do, yes. The calm before the storm, Tara, because there's a lot going on for tomorrow that you need to know about. If you live anywhere in southern Alberta, I've got some news for you and things that you need to be prepared for, especially the excessive wind gusts. All right, that's just the beginning. All right, we're sitting at the freezing mark right now. Today we got to a high of 6. The winds at this point are relatively calm. You would never know that tomorrow will be game-changing weather. Overnight, dropping to -4 with a wind chill of -9. And then by the morning, -2 with a wind chill of -8. We're looking at really overnight hours and early morning, kicking this off with some freezing rain. Then as temperatures drop, we'll switch over to snowfall. It will be a little heavy in some isolated areas in the city, 2 to 4 centimeters possible. And it will start to taper off around 3 in the afternoon. But in the afternoon, as you can see, temperatures will be dropping significantly. With the wind chill, it will feel more like -22, and the winds will pick up from 40 in the morning to 80 kilometers per hour. So all that snow will be blowing around and reducing visibility. So a bit of a tricky day tomorrow, Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Buy now, pay later. Sounds pretty good in the heat of the moment, but if that's how you plan on completing your Christmas shopping, it may be time to ask yourself some tough questions. And walking into a piece of Canadian history, the new tourism plans for a boarded-up historic lodge in BC. As many people cross items off their holiday shopping list, they may be looking to stretch their dollar by taking part in buy now, pay later plans. But one University of Calgary professor warns of the potential downfalls of that. Jacqueline Wilson reports.
With less than 10 days until Christmas, it's peak spending time. But experts caution falling prey to buy now, pay later plans that might have you stretching your wallet.
If we take the price of an item and divide it into installments, there's a psychological difference to what people are spending. So they don't realize it, but often they actually end up spending more than they would otherwise. They're more likely to buy an item.
Bierman adds there's often an emotional component to spending.
One of the most under-realized aspects of financial problems is this. People feel like they don't matter. People feel like they're less than other people. And I think that needs to be taken into account, that when people use buy now, pay later, when they take out payday loans, what they're trying to do is show that they're still a functional human being in society.
The average Albertan plans on spending over $1,500 on gifts, travel and entertainment this holiday season. That's down 8% from the year before, according to PwC Canada's Holiday Outlook.
Given the what's going on in the economy, I think that discretionary spend is being compressed. They are spending, but they are being cautious, looking at things like, where there's promotions and different types of discounts that they can make use of to help stretch their dollars for the holidays.
Some of those heading into Chinook were divided on their shopping plans.
I'm spending a lot on myself this year, so I think I'm prioritizing myself, because other years I tend to prioritize other people. So this year I'm prioritizing myself.
We're on a budget, right? So, because we're seniors. Everybody gets something, it's just cutting down a bit.
As we're all shelling out Christmas cash, sometimes it's important to remember the best memories are often from the intangible joys of the season. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
And data from the PwC Holiday Outlook was gathered from a survey of over 1,000 Canadians. The federal government has announced new plans to tackle methane pollution in Canada's oil and gas industry.
These new enhanced oil and gas regulations are designed to significantly cut methane emissions by over 304 megatons from 2028 to 2040.
The federal government environment minister, says new landfill regulations will also cut 100 megatons of emissions by 2040. In a statement, Alberta Environment Minister Rebecca Schultz acknowledged the new rules, saying as part of last month's MOU between Alberta and Ottawa, a quote, methane equivalency agreement is to be completed by April. She says the Alberta government will focus on practical and flexible methane reduction solutions. Support for new pipelines going west or east from Alberta is climbing. That's according to a new poll. The survey shows 75% of Canadians support the construction of new pipelines to the East Coast and to British Columbia. That's up by 14% compared to last year. The Montreal Economic Institute and Ipsos also found 71% of Canadians find the approval process too long. Pollsters say the tariff war is a factor in the high support, as well as other aspects.
We can look at a couple of metrics, but productivity, value in terms of exportation, $1 out of 4 exported are from the oil and gas sector, and nice paying job. So with all this added value and economy, Canadians are simply understanding that.
More than 1,100 Canadians were surveyed between November 27th and December 2nd. The pollster says the results are accurate within 3.5 percentage points, 19 times out of 20. A boarded-up backcountry lodge in Yoho National Park, which once attracted guests from around the world, is expected to reopen for tourism. Parks Canada has just chosen a new operator for Twin Falls Chalet. Alicia Fieldberg explains the plans for the site.
A 9-kilometer hike in Yoho National Park leads you to this National Historic Site, which has been boarded up for 5 years, but now has a new operator and is expected to reopen for tourism.
The Twin Falls is a beautiful little spot. Absolutely excited to be a part of its future.
Canadian Pacific Railway built Twin Falls Chalet in 1908 as a hiking destination for rail travelers. Parks Canada owns it, but leases it to operators for a cut of the profits. Since 1962, Fran Drummond had been running it as a tea house, cooking meals and hosting overnight guests with no electricity or plumbing. She was revered for her passion and dedication, but Parks said she was no longer meeting the terms of the agreement, so ended it in 2019.
She's a very important part of the history of the park and history of the tea house. We got to a point where she was no longer able to continue and have meet the requirements of a license of occupation. And that's when we transitioned to seeking a new operator.
Parks wanted it to continue operating as a tea house, but the new group chosen to run it realized that wouldn't be feasible.
Foot traffic is around 50 people per day, which does not provide enough opportunity or traffic for enough revenue to operate it.
Instead, Alpine Club of Canada is now preparing to offer it to visitors as a hut. That means no staff and guests bring their own food and bedding.
You need to collect your water and treat it to make sure you can drink it. You prepare your own food, and everyone helps clean and take care of the facility.
The club also plans to install solar power and find a way to commemorate the chalet's history.
Have the opportunity to not only experience the wilderness, experience the nature, but at the same time, walk into a piece of Canadian history. That is the type of experience that we know a lot of visitors really cherish.
Alpine Club of Canada operates 2 other National Historic Sites in Yoho National Park and says since Twin Falls sits between them, it will give guests a unique opportunity.
It's going to create our first hut-to-hut traverse experience.
The goal is to open for guests in August of 2027. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
And we have more details about the history of Twin Falls Chalet and the future plans on our website. A new round of heavy rainfall is hitting southwestern BC. A flood watch remains in place for the entire south coast, with flood warnings in place in the Fraser Valley. About 100 properties are under evacuation order. Forecasters are calling for up to 70 millimeters in areas, including the Fraser Valley and Metro Vancouver.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Danielle is live at Trail Appliances tonight. You've got your Christmas sweater on, and you've got an update for us on that enormous torn mountain.
It is enormous. Can you see this behind me?
Yes.
It's a huge pile. It's growing fast. We have so many people that have been coming and dropping off toys, which is absolutely fantastic. And so we have lots to talk about in the weather, but before we get to that, we need to talk to Kim Roos, CEO, Fear is Not Love. Kim, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks very much for having me.
When you see all these people come in, dropping off all these toys, and when you see this huge mountain of toys, can you tell me what that means to you and how this supports Fear is Not Love?
It's incredible. As I was parking, I saw people carrying in bags and bags of toys, and I actually got a little teary because it's like, I know times are tough right now, and it is just so phenomenal that people remember us and are bringing toys to help kids like at this time of year and all year round. It's just so impressive.
Oh, that's incredible. All right, so you have a number of programs through Fear is Not Love that is available to all communities in Southern Alberta, but can you focus on a couple and explain what is available?
Sure. So we have a crisis line that is province-wide, and so people can call 234-SAFE 403, and I can't remember the 1866 number right now, but we do have that. We also operate, in partnership with the YW Calgary, we operate ShelterLink, which is actually a real-time app that shows you what shelter spaces are available in domestic violence shelters across 31 shelters in the province. And so that is really innovative. It allows us to streamline people's access to shelter beds, get them there faster when they need it. And then our other innovative program we'll talk about is Men And, which is a partnership program with Forge Centre, and that is actually a men's digital engagement strategy that has online resources for men that are looking for help or information about how to improve their relationships and how to have great social skills and emotional relational skills.
Oh, this is incredible. Incredible. And, you know, another thing is we have to talk about toy totals, because this is what we're at. At this point, 8,537 toys from our amazing community. So thank you very much. And the total cash donation plus toy value is at $716,305. That's incredible. So huge thank you. And if you want to donate, you can go online, ctvcalgary.ca. You can also find all the nearly 30 drop-off locations on there as well. All right, let's talk about the weather, because we have a lot to talk about here. It's been hot. Here's a look at temperatures. It's still very mild, so it's quite deceiving as to what we're going to be dealing with for tomorrow. This is a look at wind gusts, so over 90 kilometers per hour in some communities like Pincher Creek, Medicine Hat, Calgary, just over 40. Now, Calgary will pick up to 80 kilometer per hour gusts for tomorrow, especially in the morning. And then outside of Calgary, 90 to even 120 kilometer per hour gusts in many communities in the south. 90 closer to the Saskatchewan border, 120 Lethbridge over to Pincher Creek. We're also looking at combining snow with this, and in some isolated areas that snow will be heavy at times. This is a look, give you an idea of how much snow we can expect where. So about 4 in Okotoks, 3 in Lethbridge, 1 in Medicine Hat. This is tonight through tomorrow. Another key thing is we'll likely start off with a little bit of freezing rain, and then we'll have snow on top of that. Plus, all that is melted is now going to flash freeze tomorrow, because temperatures will dip rather than rise throughout the day. So we're looking at very slippery conditions on roads and sidewalks. We're looking at very gusty conditions, and we're looking at blowing snow at times, which will reduce visibility out there on the roads. So if you can stay off the roads, and especially the highways for tomorrow, this would be the day to do it, especially if you're traveling outside of Calgary or if you live outside of Calgary. Wind gusts could get to 120, 130 kilometers per hour. All right, for Calgary specifically, -2, that's early in the morning, but by the afternoon will be -10 with a wind chill of -22. And again, gusts 80 kilometers per hour in the city, especially in the afternoon. In the morning, we're looking at about 40 kilometer per hour gusts, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow is possible. That was your Action Furnace 5-day forecast.
The latest on the Australian terror attack is next. A father-son duo opened fire on a Jewish celebration. Police have now found a link to ISIS. And later, the power of representation. Children with Down syndrome and the joy of playing with a doll that looks just like them. Investigators have linked the terrorist attack targeting Australia's Jewish community to ISIS. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says the father and son suspects were influenced by the Islamic State. Here's CTV's Judy Trin.
Grief uniting hundreds of mourners 24 hours after a mass shooting on Bondi Beach. Violence that turned the celebration of Hanukkah into carnage.
Hundreds of people running and screaming off the beach. So I turned around and we just started running back as quick as we could back to our hostel.
At least 15 people were killed, dozens were wounded. The victims range in age from 10 to 87 years old. Among those killed, the rabbi leading the celebration, Eli Schlanger, who had relatives in Toronto.
He was just full of life, positivity. It was his mission to bring the light of Judaism into the world.
Authorities call the attack terrorism and anti-Semitic.
The offenders are a 50-year-old and 24-year-old male who are father and son.
Police aren't releasing the suspect names, but Australian media are identifying them as Sajid Akram and Naveed Akram. The father was shot by police and had immigrated in 1988 as a student. His son Naveed was born in Australia.
He was examined on the basis of being associated with others
and the assessment was made that there was no indication of any ongoing threat.
38 other people remain in hospital, but the death toll could have been much greater if not for a bystander. Ahmed Al-Ahmed, a local fruit vendor from Syria, tackled the older suspect and was also shot multiple times. 2 decades ago, Ottawa Rabbi Chaim Mendelson participated in the Hanukkah ceremony on Bondi Beach. He calls Ahmed a hero.
He is literally the light in the darkness. He is the silver lining of this story. He is the reminder that there is a safe future for all of mankind to live together.
In the aftermath of this attack, Australia's leaders are promising to tighten already tough gun laws, including putting limits on the number of guns a person can own, as well as reviewing licenses. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
In Los Angeles, police have laid charges in the deaths of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner. The couple was found deceased in their home on Sunday. Their son, Nick Reiner, was taken into custody Sunday night and is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder with a special circumstance of multiple murders. Rob Reiner was one of Hollywood's most prolific directors and won an Emmy for his role in the hit TV show All in the Family. Michelle Singer Reiner was a photographer, movie producer, and advocate for LGBTQ2S+ rights. Running a marathon is tough enough. Now imagine doing it in the Antarctic. We'll meet the woman who beat them all to the chilly finish line. Many children grow up playing with dolls that are blonde-haired and blue-eyed, but that's not a representation of the ethnic diversity in Canada. So an early childhood educator started her own toy company called BU Kids. It specializes in dolls of all cultural backgrounds and also some with Down syndrome features. Here's Kevin Fleming.
She's making a visit to the Prep Society to see how the children here are playing with the 15 dolls she donated. Andale Fupa is the owner of BU Kids that specializes in multicultural and inclusion-based dolls. She's also an early childhood educator who works with children with special needs.
It makes my heart melt. I wasn't expecting that, such love that they have towards the dolls and the joy that they had as well in their faces. So. Yeah, just seeing themselves and their friends in those toys.
Fupa started the company when she couldn't find an African doll for her niece and struggled to find any ethnic dolls. Now she sells a variety of them.
And then there's some with vitiligo, albinism, and all ethnicities and skin tones that represent Canada.
The Prep Society is an organization that provides services and programs for individuals with Down syndrome from birth well into their teens. Nicole McFarland works with children of all ages here and says the dolls are having a positive impact.
Representation is huge, and I think that that's so positive for our kids to see dolls like them exist in the world, and they exist in the world, and then it's just part of the world, and they're not different in that sense. It's just a doll.
Curtis Slater runs Prep and is grateful for the donation.
A lot of the staff have said, from the second the dolls arrived and they got kind of put into the classrooms, the kids just gravitated towards them. So they're being used in our early learning program, in our ECS program, and in our therapy services as well.
Fupa says she's even noticed a difference in her niece once she received a doll that looked like her.
I wanted her to love the skin that she's in. And I see that she's growing up to be a very confident girl right now.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
That's fantastic. All right. Well, Glenn, an Australian runner, has rewritten the record books at the bottom of the world.
It's so hard. Wow. Oh, my God, that is unlike anything I've ever done. I've done marathons before, but that is so tough. So tough.
Just imagine, that's Catherine Drysdale. She's the first female champion in the 20 years of the Antarctic Ice Marathon.
Ooh.
Wow. All of the runners braved strong winds and temperatures around -15 during the run, with Drysdale finishing it in 3 hours, 48 minutes, and 43 seconds. Imagine running for nearly 4 hours in the cold.
I mean, that would have to be one of the hardest races.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
This is the world's southernmost marathon. It takes place at the Union Glacier, which is almost 1,000 kilometers away from the South Pole.
Way to go.
These are extreme athletes. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this will warm us up after the thought of an icy marathon. Christmas caroling, not door to door this time. In Belfast, it happens at the pub.
Won't you come, I'm a love, won't you come on a spree, where the drink flows like water, where else would you be? And I know you may think that it's not much to see, but Christmas in Belfast is perfect to me.
Yes, please, let's go there. They're known
of course
as
it's in the pub, right?
This group is called the Shamrocks, and they could sing. The group of five started singing their original song, Christmas in Belfast, just sitting in the corner of the pub there having a drink, getting everybody in the holiday spirit.
Can you imagine being there?
How great
to
that would be, yes, I know.
Love it.
Guinness and a Christmas Carol. Yes, please. Well, finally, these cute pumpkins are looking for homes.
Roll it out into the pasture, pick the best one from the batch.
That's a pretty cute way to photograph adorable pups. These 4 bulldogs were pictured in pumpkins just to get the word out about their availability to future families. Russet is taken, but Pearl, Todd, and Jigsaw are patiently waiting for their forever homes.
Now, I thought
Utah.
they'd go just like that.
I bet they do. Once this video,
right?
Yeah, I'm sure this went viral.
People,
yeah,
look at how
cute are they? Good thinking. Ottawa has approved a merger involving a Canadian resource company. We have details on the multi-billion-dollar deal between Anglo American and Teck Resources. That's next in our business report.
All right, well, we have lots to talk about in the weather department. It's been a calm day today for the most part, but windy in many communities, and the wind will get stronger and stronger over these next 12 hours or throughout these next 12 hours. We're sitting at the freezing mark right now in the city. Today's high was 6. A normal high for this time of year is -2. And you can see these mild temperatures in southern Alberta that we still have at this point, even though the sun has set. 5 degrees in Medicine Hat and Brooks, 2 in Milk River, and just below freezing in Banff. But you can also see what's going on to the north. -12 in Edmonton, -19 in Grand Prairie. That colder air is going to filter down, and we will dip into the minus double digits in many communities tomorrow afternoon. So we're going to cool rather than rise. Checking out wind gusts so far today, over 90 in Pincher Creek and Medicine Hat, over 70 in Lethbridge, and over 40 in Calgary, over 60 in Brooks, and closer to 40 in Drumheller. You can expect those winds to intensify tonight and through tomorrow morning especially. So what you can sum up from this very, very busy weather and warnings map is that most communities will see gusts 80 to 90 kilometers per hour. 80 in the city of Calgary, 90 outside of the city, except for Lethbridge over to Pincher Creek, 120, even 130 kilometer per hour gusts possible. Further off to the Coronation area, 10 to 20 centimeters is possible, and closer to Pincher Creek, even up to 20 centimeters is possible in those higher elevations closer to the BC border. But everywhere else is looking at about 2 to 4 centimeters from this system. All right, your 24-hour forecast is brought to you by Action Furnace. Action Furnace fixed right or it's free. And here's a look at how things are going to cool down throughout the day tomorrow rather than warm. So -2 in the morning, by the afternoon -10 with a wind chill of -22, and the gusts will pick up from 40 kilometers per hour in the morning to 80 in the afternoon. Out of the north, we'll kick this off early morning with some freezing rain, switch over to snow, which will last until about 3 in the afternoon. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. A man is in hospital with serious injuries after being shot by Calgary police. Police say the man was carrying a knife and was acting aggressively toward a peace officer at the Dalhousie LRT station. Skate Canada says it will not host major national or international events in Alberta now in response to provincial law restricting transgender athletes from female-only divisions. And harm reduction advocates say the province's plan to close the Sheldon Schumer supervised consumption site will have a devastating impact. Others lean more toward a recovery model approach to help those with addiction. A group in Calgary is taking part in a nationwide candlelight vigil right now, calling for the end of live horse exports for slaughter. The group is gathered at the Harley Hotchkiss Gardens downtown. They're marking the 4th anniversary of what they call an unfulfilled Liberal government pledge to stop the practice. They say thousands of horses have suffered and lost their lives since the pledge was made in 2021, and they say more than 10,700 horses have endured flights to Japan where they are killed and eaten as a raw delicacy. They contend the shipments frequently exceed the 28-hour legal limit for transport without food, water, and rest.
Our message to the government is it's not too late.
You still have time, and you have the power to ban this practice. And we would love for all Canadians to get involved, to contact your MP and ask for the government to end this cruel practice immediately.
Vigils are also being held in Edmonton and 9 other Canadian cities. Ottawa has signed off on a major mining deal that will see a British firm acquire a Canadian one. BNN Bloomberg's Marla Fernandez has more.
This is about a U.S. $20 billion all-stock deal between Anglo American and Teck Resources. As part of it, Anglo American has agreed to spend $4.5 billion in Canada over the next 5 years. It is also moving its global headquarters from London to Vancouver. Shareholders already approved the deal that creates a copper power producer. The new company will be called Anglo Teck. Canada's industry minister says Anglo's commitments are legally binding. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar ended the day at 72.71. West Texas Intermediate crude lost over $1.50, ending the day at 55.27. Western Canadian Select is down as well, and the TSX dropped 219 points today to close at 31,263. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marla Fernandez.
Hundreds of families in need will have gifts under the tree this Christmas, thanks to a program by WINS with a Power Play boost from Flames alumni. Each year, the Women in Need Society creates a welcoming environment where parents facing financial hardship can select new toys for their children. There is no cost to visit the holiday gift room. Items for everyone, from newborns to 17-year-olds, are available. This afternoon, Flames alumni delivered a huge haul of toys and other items.
It's been a great success. We're so lucky with Calgary and how generous people are in the city. Between our hockey game that we have when we do our collection nights and with a bunch of our sponsors that pick up at different locations.
Working with the Flames alumni on this project is absolutely incredible. The items they bring and the amount of support that they'll bring in for our holiday rooms is incredible. It's just incredible when Calgarians come together.
Holiday gift room visits begin tomorrow. 1,600 people are signed up to receive gifts. There is an overflow list that WINS will call if enough items are available. More information can be found at winsyyc.ca. The World Junior Championship is a holiday tradition, and Glenn has a preview of the tournament that starts on Boxing Day. FIFA says some $60 tickets will be available for every game of the World Cup after a global backlash. The tickets will go to the national federations whose teams are playing, and then those federations will decide how to distribute them to loyal fans who've attended previous games at home and on the road. There was anger worldwide last week on seeing FIFA's ticketing plans. There were no tickets in the lowest price category for participating teams, and the cheapest prices range from $120 to $265 for games that didn't even involve Canada, the U.S., or Mexico. The Calgary Flames have had a nice few days on the Dad's Road trip. Glenn is back with us. And Glenn, it's only a 2-game trip.
Tara, it is, but still plenty of time to do things with the Dads. Remember, they played on Saturday night, took in an NFL game on Sunday, and then they're back on the ice tonight to face the Sharks. Flames have been playing better of late. They're 8-3-1 in their last 12 games, and are now just 3 games under 500 on the season. Even though it's been much better, it's tough to make up ground in the NHL. The Flames still 31st in the league in winning percentage. Tonight, the Flames take on the much improved San Jose Sharks. Some good news for the Flames. Captain Michael Backlund, who was injured last game, he's good to go tonight against the Sharks.
Yeah, I think we got to have a good start like last game. Even though they scored first, we were the better team, and we were going after them right away. We had that mentality, getting pucks in and having a good forecheck, and we create a lot of chances that way. And we're getting a lot of shots in traffic, and that's what we got to keep doing tonight.
Our people know they're a good team. I think that's the way most teams are approaching coming into here now, is that you have to be ready for a certain style of game. For us, it's all about making sure this 60 minutes is complete, and that's what we want to keep trying to build on.
Puck drop for tonight's game, a little after 8 Mountain Time. Well, the World Junior Hockey Championship gets underway in Minneapolis-St. Paul on Boxing Day. Team Canada finished 5th last year and vow to be much better this time around.
Here's a feed by the scores!
Team Canada always has high expectations at the World Junior Hockey Championship. but they've been eliminated in the quarterfinals the last 2 years. Last year, Czechia got the better of Canada in the quarters.
Canada should never finish fifth, and I think coming into this year, there's a lot of eyes on us to do well, and I think that's our motivation. Do it for the country. We let them down a few times now, and we owe it to them. I expect a lot. I expect to be, one of the top guys. I want to lead this team, and I want to be a leader, show the guys, what it takes and stuff, and hopefully lead us to a gold medal.
McKenna is Canada's youngest forward and has already faced plenty of adversity this season. He was projected to be the first overall pick at this year's NHL draft, but he struggled at times adjusting to college hockey. But he looks like a man on a mission heading into the World Juniors.
Yeah, I'm confident going into the tournament. There's a lot of chatter around my year and stuff, but I think it's a growth year for me. Playing against harder guys. I could have stayed in the dub and put up a bunch of points, but I wanted to challenge myself this year, and I've been getting challenged. So I think that being the NCAA prepares me for this tournament, and hopefully I have a good one.
Another player with something to prove is Flames defenseman Zane Parekh. He was a late cut from last year's team, but no doubt he'll suit up for Team Canada this time around. Parekh says it'll be different having London Knights coach Dale Hunter behind the bench.
Yeah, I wanted to joke with him and ask him if I'm on the dark side now. So it's nice. I think he's a really knowledgeable guy. I mean, he played in the NHL, and he's obviously coached at really high levels, and he wins every year, it seems like.
He's a real good player. He sees the ice so well, and every time he touches the puck, something dangerous is going to happen. And so we were lost the video on him, but sometimes it didn't help. So that's a unique player that he can play to that high level.
Canada opens up the World Junior Tournament on Boxing Day against who? The team that knocked them out last year, Czechia. Tara?
Fingers crossed. All right, let's go back up to Danielle one last time at Trail Appliances tonight. Danielle.
Okay, well, fingers crossed would be what you have to kind of keep in mind if you plan on driving anywhere in southern Alberta for tomorrow, because it's going to be a tricky one. 80 kilometer per hour gusts possible in the city. Outside of the city, like south of the city, for example, Lethbridge over to Pincher Creek, 130 kilometer per hour gusts possible, and to the east closer to Medicine Hat, 90 kilometers per hour. So yes, we have the wind. We also are going to have the snow falling, so that will reduce visibility. 2 to 4 centimeters is what's possible in Calgary. Most of the snowfall will be in the morning hours tomorrow. -2 will be the daytime high, but it will feel closer to -9. And in the afternoon with the wind chill, it will feel closer to -22. Weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, Alberta's climate. Matt Melnick. I figured I'd leave you with a Chinook picture.
Nice shot. Beautiful sky. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you again tomorrow.